Hi Umbraco gang, it's me, Warren, and today I'm going to try and show you how to run Umbraco 9, aka the .NET Core edition, on a Mac. So I've got my trusty old MacBook here, pretty old and beat up, but we're gonna run Umbraco on it today. So let's jump in. So let's do first things first. I've got a few tabs open just to help save some time. I've gone to .net.microsoft.com/download, and on this page I can see the different tabs for Windows, Linux, Mac, and it's obviously gone to Mac for me. And I want the .NET 5.0 recommendation, and I just want to download the .NET SDK. So I'm going to do that. That's doing its stuff. I've got a terminal here, so iTerm is my terminal of choice on the Mac with ZCH or ZCH or whatever it's called. I can just type .NET and just prove, okay, it's not installed. And then let's run the installer. And it needs my password. Bum 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 bum. Bum bum bum. Thank you, Mac. Move to bin. And it's telling us to verify the install by going to the terminal. And what does it want us to type? Just .NET. Yeah, and we now get the help with the info and all the various different options. So next thing we want to do is go to our Umbraco and go to the documentation section, and in this blue banner we have this Umbraco.NET Core updates, and here, scroll down, it shows us the commands that we need to run. So we're going to copy and paste these. .NET NuGet add source, and it's going to add a custom myget feed, and we're going to call it Umbraco pre-releases. Currently, where V9 is not on NuGet because it's still in development and is an alpha, where you need to add this step. But once it's on NuGet, obviously this step won't necessarily need it to be done. Was added, perfect. Next, we need to install the template packs. So this is a way to then help us scaffold new Umbraco projects from the command line, which will then scaffold files and various things for us very quickly. So we can do .NET new, install or -i, and then Umbraco.templates, and then a specific version. Perfect. And if I make this a bit bigger, actually, you can see what we're doing. In here, he says there is Umbraco project and an Umbraco package. So the next thing is I want to change into. I've got a folder called hack make do, and it's clear. And we can do .NET new Umbraco, and we can do --help to see a lot of the configuration options. So we could set the specific .NET SDK framework. So if we wanted to use the newer .NET 6, which is in preview at the minute, we could do. Along with setting up the email, the password, the database connection string, we could do that all from here. But for now, we're just going to do the following: .NET new Umbraco --names, the name of the project. So this is going to create a folder with that name, and then the project files will be relevant as well. We're going to call this Umbraco Mac or something. I don't know. So it's talking to NuGet, determining what NuGet packages it needs to download from that myget feed. So this may take a moment or two. It's a nice sunny day here, hence you can hear all the birds outside my office. Okay, so we can change directory to, what did I call it, Umbraco Mac. And I have Visual Studio Code installed. And so I can then do code and then dot to open the current folder in Visual Studio Code. And what's the next thing I want to do? I want to just click on one of these C# files. And it's saying, do you want to install the recommended extensions for C#? Well, yes please. Install that. Looks like it's going and downloading what it needs to. So let's just wait for that to finish. It says it's finished. Okay, perfect. So that will give us required assets to build and debug are missing from Umbraco Mac. Add them. Yes. So in doing that, that added this .vs code folder, which adds specific JSON configuration files for running your project inside Visual Studio Code. So we have launch, so this tells how to run the debugger or the launch in VS Code, and you can see it's auto-scaffold all of this for us, along with these .NET build, publish, and watch tasks. So with that done, we will go to the debug section. We're then going to hit, you can see this .NETCore launch web, and then .NETCore attach. So if I've already running the web server from the terminal, either inside Visual Studio Code with say .NET run, I can then attach the Visual Studio Code debugger to that existing running process, or I can just do this one, which will do the run as well, and then launch the browser. So we can just hit play. You can see it's just doing a .NET build and a restore and getting things loaded into assemblies and things. It's saying terminal will be reused by tasks. Okay, and then you can see the debug console lighting up now. It's loading things in, and my browser is now opening a new tab. I get the lovely Umbraco installer. So I can then do Warren Buckley, warren@umbraco.com, and my super secret password of password1234, and then next. Okay, so on Windows we have the option of SQL CE, so a file-based embedded database. On Mac and Linux and other places, we don't get that option. We can either use a Microsoft SQL Server connection string, SQL Azure, or a custom connection string. So for now, I'm going to stop the site from running, and then we're going to investigate setting up SQL Server running on my Mac as well. Okay, so the next step is going to be installing SQL Server on a Mac. So SQL Server is available on Windows and Linux, but it's not specifically available on a Mac. The way we can get around that is by using Docker, because there's a Docker image for SQL Server. So first things first, you want to download Docker Desktop. My MacBook is one of those ones with an Intel chip. Obviously the newer Macs have their own processors these days, the M1 and things like that. Obviously choose which is relevant. I've got it already installed, so I can just show you. I've got no containers running. This is kind of what Docker looks like, and it's something you use from the command line in combination with this UI or GUI tool to help you manage your images and containers. So with that being said, I found the Microsoft SQL Server image on Docker Hub, And down here it tells you how to use it and some different various options. I'm going to take this one. So docker run, and then it's passing in some environment variables. So accept the EULA, so the licensing agreement, and what you want your SA password to be for the SQL Server. And then it's mapping some SQL Server ports, and then what Docker image we want to use. So let's run that, and let's make sure to copy that password because we're going to need that in a second. So let's hit enter and run. Hopefully there we go. Helps if you press enter. I've done this process before, so it's downloaded the images and compiled them, and so there'll be some steps in there where it would just say fetching image and downloading layer and things like that. So that's what's happening. So with that command run, I can go to Docker Hub, and I can see this image or container running. So if I just click on it, we can see the logs that happened. We can see what's going on. It's booting up and it's all happy. So the next thing is to create or use Azure. I have to remember what it's called. Azure Data Studio. Don't panic because it says Azure. We're not going to use Azure. This is just a tool to connect to the local running SQL Server so that we can create databases, edit tables, and run SQL queries. So I already have that installed, and it's this icon down here, Azure Data Studio. Oh, I forgot to remove. So it's going to fail. Preview features enhances your own experience. Okay, yes, recommended. So let's remove this connection because it no longer works. And we are going to start a new connection. Let's clear the list. So from the connection type, it's only SQL Server, and the server is at localhost. So it's my same machine. It's the SQL login, and it's an SA, and the password is. Let's make sure copied it. And we're going to say remember password, and we'll call this SQL Server Docker image or something like that. And we'll click connect, and we're presented with this dashboard in terms of how many databases and how many backups and bits and pieces. For now, under databases, we can then expand to see what databases are in the SQL Server. There's none. We can, he says, on the Windows version, you can right click and create a new database table. Maybe not. We'll create a new, that one's a new query. Is that the right one? No, show all connections. New server group, no. New connection, no. Okay, so new query over here. Or can we just click databases? Nope, there's no UI. In the Windows version, I'm pretty sure you can just right click databases here and then click create database, but we'll do a new query and create. I now have to Google it. It's been such a while that my SQL is super rusty. What is it? Create database with SQL. You're going to be shouting at me that it's super obvious. Is it literally just create database? Create database. Data. Oh, there we go. Look, there's a snippet even. Create a new database. We can tab. And oh, look, we can call it Umbraco Mac. That's going to be my database name. Why are we getting squigglies? I don't know. Let's run. Oh, that would be because that's better. That was what I left over from before. We can run it again. It's probably going to complain, and we can refresh this. Now we've got a database with no tables. It's all empty. So let's go back to our Visual Studio Code project and change directory to this and our Umbraco Mac and open it. Oh, I don't need it in shouty. Open up code. And now we can run and debug. And let's go for the installer, as we didn't complete it last time because we didn't fill in the database step. So it's going to be localhost, and our database was called Umbraco Mac. And our login is the SA, and the password is what was it from their example? This your strong password. Go to the right tab and click continue. We are, or should be, setting up Umbraco. We could go back to this database table viewer, and we could refresh the tables. And you can see now the database tables are all there. It's been created. I've now logged in, and we can start doing our Umbraco work on a Mac. So let's create a doc type, home, content, and we'll give this a header. That is just a simple text string for now, and we'll say it's mandatory, and we'll change our little icon to be a house. Now that's all good. We'll save that, and which is also going to create my template view, and then I can do h1 at model.header and save. Go back to my document type because I forgot one thing. Turn on allow as root, save, go back to content, create a home. Hello from a MacBook. Save and publish. Go to info and view the page or the site. Hello from a MacBook. And this is working. Let's save and publish that. And refresh. There you go. So that is Umbraco CMS running on a Mac. Once you know how, it's quite simple. Probably the trickiest hurdle is understanding Docker or getting Docker set up in terms of having your SQL Server running. Hope that helps you. Any questions, leave a comment down below. I'll get back to you either as a reply, or I'll create some new content if there's anything that needs further explaining. Kudos, have a good one, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers, bye.